Yeah, I think that you guys need to be really proud of the team that Miami has. I think they were a tough out for us, and I thought our kids gave tremendous effort. But the difference is, I thought their maturity showed. We had equal opportunities there in the first half. Matter of fact, I think we missed 12 point-blank layups at the rim. In the first half, we probably missed about 7, 8 more. But each time we gave them an open look, I think they took advantage of it, and I think we had the same opportunities on the other end, and we faltered. We had several situations in the second half where we had like 4 and 5, maybe stops in a row 2 or 3 times, but we couldn't capitalize on the other end. And it seemed as though they would move the ball around, and we would be taking high percentage shots, and those guys were knocking down some contested shots. And you got to give them credit for that. They're a good basketball team. They're going to be hard to defend. Newton, I thought, came in and gave him 4 assists, and it was 13 points, and he was very difficult for us to keep in front of us. And they have a great combination of players that give you different looks, great penetrators, guys who are great standing jump shooters, and they attack the basket very well. And they either attacking the basket and kicking it, or finishing at the rim. That was a very difficult thing for us to defend. But even with that, I thought our kids played hard. I just thought that we got beat by teams a little bit more mature, made better decisions, and were a lot more consistent when they had offensive opportunities than we were.
McClellan goes in at 1 point at the half. Are you kind of waiting for him to explode?
Well, to be very honest with you, I think they have 5 guys averaging double figures. So that's what great teams will do when they have different guys that can hurt you, and that's who they are. I mean, some of our better teams at Florida State have been when we've had older, more mature players. I think we won the championship. We had 6 seniors, and this team is similar, in that they have 3 fifth-year guys and a couple of fourth-year guys and some regular seniors. So that's a formula of guys who have been to the wars. They're confident. They don't get overly excited. They just stick with the game plan. And I think what we're doing, we have a lot of youngsters that are developing, and I think that lies where we faltered a lot. I was proud of our kids' effort. We had kids who have been consistent. We've been very consistent shooting from 3 the last 2 or 3 games. We had the same looks today, and they just didn't fall. And that's part of growing up and learning and developing. I'm hoping that we can learn from this game, and that's one thing good about the ACC. That there's another great team right around the corner. You don't have a chance to have pity parties. You got to learn from your losses and turn around and be prepared for your next one. And hopefully we can learn from this and congratulate Miami for having a great team and doing an outstanding job. They're going to be a team that has a chance to go deep into the NCAA tournament. But from my standpoint, we just got to go back and keep teaching our kids and keep developing it, because I think this team has a chance to be pretty good.
What is it that Sheldon, he had 20 points in the second half. What is it that McClellan did?
He did the same thing he normally does with just about everybody. He hit his open looks. He's you can't, when they have 5 guys at every position that are capable of hurting you, and they have great guys that are penetrating, and you got to help with those guys getting to the basket. And he had some good looks, and he just made us pay. And I think their system works. They have a very good system that fits who they are. He gives them a lot of freedom to take you off the dribble, and that plays into the strengths of this team. So now you got to guard the dribble, drive, and you got to guard the perimeter, and that's difficult. That's challenging. And our defensive system normally works against a lot of type of offensive systems, but when you have exceptional individual talent like they do, guys that are really good off the bounce and they're really good standing shooters, that's a tough combination to defend.
Leonard, what were your thoughts when their center, Ja'Kiri, made like a 7-foot point guard and went into the dunk?
Well, obviously he's probably made as much improvement from a freshman to now as anybody in America. If there's a most improved basketball player over the last 4 years, he gets my vote. And he's very quick and athletic. The interesting thing about him, he plays within himself. He never really gets He never really gets. He just anchors their defense. He defends. He rebounds. I'm sure that Coach probably got just about excited about him taking the ball the length of the court as he did when he took that three. but the interesting thing is that he's confident enough to take that three. You know, that's a guy who's grown tremendously, and he's really worked on his game, and to be able to go from where he started to a guy who can take the ball and lift the floor and make a finishing play, you got to congratulate him, and this tells you the type of job that they've done here developing him and how much work he's put into developing himself as a player.
Leonard, defensively, was the effort a little bit more in line with what you want to say after the result of the overall game, but were you pleased mostly with the
Well, I was pleased with the effort in terms of the effort, but still, you can't take moral victories. I mean, they're a good basketball team, and they created a lot of different defensive challenges for us. You know, I told you before you came in, they have great penetrators, and with the new rules, without having that 5-second count, they can keep the ball in their hands long enough to break you down, and they're very clever with the ball. It's unusual to have that many guys on one team that can create off the bounce like that and be good shooters on the perimeter. You know, most of the time you're either a good shooter, but sometimes you're not a great ball handler. You're a great ball handler, you're not a great shooter. Well, they got the rare combination of guys who can put it on the floor and create pull-ups as well as threes, and that was very challenging for our young kids tonight.
He had a couple opportunities to cut the lead for pretty close.
Well, I think we had one stretch where we had 5 stops in a row. We had another stretch where we had 4 stops in a row, and we had great looks on the other end. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. We just did not take advantage of those opportunities. And once they came out of that stretch where I thought we defended very well, then they knocked down a perimeter shot or take the ball to the basket. So you got to give them credit. Sometimes it's not always what you didn't do. You got to give the team credit for what they did, and they made us pay every time we made a mistake.
I know you said yesterday when we spoke that, you don't have time for nostalgia, it's just a business trip, but when you come to Miami, is it different from going to other cities?
Well, to be very honest with you, not really, because you have the same amount of time to spend preparing. You get in and you get your kids dinner, you have your scout reports, and then you go back and watch more film to make sure you haven't missed anything. You know, you don't get a chance to visit with friends, and most of my friends realize that. I don't think anybody called me and bothered me. Maybe a few text me here or there, but for the most part, I think they understand that this is a business trip.
Does it feel familiar to come to this campus?
Well, to be very honest with you, you don't get a chance. I mean, I ride by and I see a new building going up here and a new building going up there, and I'm really pleased with the progress they have made selling and promoting and marketing the basketball program. A great atmosphere here. I think Coach is doing Leonard is doing a great job relating to the fans. I think he has the kind of, and I'm glad to see the community embrace this team and get behind them and create the atmosphere here that I think that's typical of all other ACC venues. The ACC is the greatest basketball conference ever assembled in the history of college basketball. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And I think Miami has developed a team as competitive as any other team, and now they have the atmosphere here that is supportive of an outstanding team, and that's a credit to the university and the great job that Leonard is doing.
Any more questions for Coach?